Hey there, this is Frank Klesitz with Vyral Marketing. Welcome to a client success story interview. You're going to learn some loan officer marketing tips. If you're a mortgage professional, loan officer, and you're looking to write more loans, build more relationships with real estate agents and brokers who can introduce you to their agents, and get more people calling you to write loans so you make more money, you're going to want to stay tuned for this. I'm Frank Klesitz. I'm the CEO of Vyral Marketing, where we help you attract business by publishing educational content. We like to do educational videos, but it can be any piece of content, podcast, article. But by getting your expertise on camera, let's say, and start publishing it out online, more importantly, publishing it to your #1 business asset, which is not necessarily your employees or your product or your building, your typical assets. It's your database. It's the relationship and the strength of the relationship you have with your customers, your prospects, your past clients, the people that will actually give you money, refer you, and do business with you. And that's what we're all about here at Vyral, is most business owners and independent professionals don't build a database. So they're on this transaction treadmill forever, chasing stranger after stranger to get business, and don't get a lot of people calling them. And honestly, just kind of don't build up an asset over time. So we're all about that here at Vyral, building a database, communicating with it, bringing value, answering questions in your content to position yourself as the trusted expert and authority in your niche. And that's what Pat Fitzgerald has done very well. You're going to hear from him today and how he built an incredible mortgage business for himself in a very specific niche. And you can bottle what he's going to share. He's going to kind of reveal all the secrets today. So I'll introduce him here in a second, but I want to let you know, if you like what you hear on the interview today, it's all educational. This is the only thing I want to tell you for your next steps. You can go to our website, getvyral.com, VYRAL.com, and you can download the official video marketing plan that we recommend for all of our clients. It's what all of our clients here follow at our firm. It's what we execute if you choose to hire us. But it teaches you, and it goes through, I wrote this, about 20 pages about how to reconnect with your neglected database if you haven't been staying in touch, how to add people to your database, the right people, how do you get their contact information, without spamming them, how do you publish educational information, what do people want to receive, and how do you go about delivering that to them, and what consistency. And then finally, how do you follow up? How do you proactively work your database by who's engaging and following your content for business? And that whole plan is up on the homepage of our website. You can go check it out there. And if you're interested in working with us and hiring us to do all this for you, you can request a strategy call as well. So without further interruption, Pat, welcome to the interview. Thank you so much for doing this, buddy.
My pleasure, Frank.
Cool. So 15 years in the mortgage business.
Yeah.
Previously, you were a sales manager for an auto parts company, apparently flying all over the country all the time. And you were looking for a job that would pay you 6 figures without having to go to the airport every Monday.
That's exactly right.
Okay. You've written 3,500 loans over your career for over 15 years, which is insane.
Yeah, give or take a few.
Last year, you wrote about 230 loans. Just to give our audience an idea of kind of where you're at with the size of your business. Your average loan size, you're in San Antonio, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Average loan size is about $240,000 on the loan.
It is now. It's gone up dramatically in the last year, but yeah, it's up to 240 right now.
Yeah, and just you shared an interesting statistic. The average loan officer writes how much a month in business, the total mortgage volume they process, and what did you do?
I think about 375,000, I'm told.
So about 375,000. So if you're in a market with your median sales price is what in America, 200 something?
Yeah.
So they're probably closing a loan or two a month at the median.
Right. That's the average.
What are you averaging a month in your production for your office?
Well, just me individually. Every month is a little bit different, but for some odd reason, September, which tends to trail off a teeny bit, but I've got about 4.5 million for September this month, ready to close. Yeah.
Now, what we're going to talk about today in this interview is how you did it. And we're going to stay within scope of Vyral Marketing. I really want to talk about how you took it further with publishing educational content and your decision to hire us. You've been a client for some time, and how that's helped you. All right. Mm-hmm. But so let's start here. So obviously you get into the mortgage business, but at some point, apparently you decided to niche yourself. You decided to go after the VA loans, the military market. And 90% of your business is VA.
Yes, sir, it is.
So let's talk about your decision to focus on a target market, a niche, going after a specific need and position yourself that specific in the marketplace. And even though it sounds obvious at this point, it was not obvious at the time. That was probably not an easy decision.
Well, let me go way, way back, because I got in the business very late in my career. I'm 70 years old, and I was a 55-year-old rookie loan officer, which is kind of hilarious in itself. But anyway, as you pointed out, I got in the business because I was tired of going to the airport every Monday. So in San Antonio here, we have 3 military bases within our county. So this is really military city. And I looked around and I said, you know, I don't want to be just everybody's loan officer. I don't want to be like everybody else where I know a little bit about everything. I just decided to drill down deep and pick a niche. I looked back in those days, we had subprime loans, we had alt A loans, we had FHA, we had a lot of different things. And I looked around and I said, you know, I think the one that's going to stay stable is VA loans. And so I just decided to go deep with VA loans and learn all that I could about them. And of course, we have over 200,000 veterans living in our county here and about 80,000 active military people. So our county and the contiguous counties around here is very rich in military people. The state of Texas also has almost 2 million veterans living in. We're number 2 in the nation in terms of how many veterans live in our state. Only California has more. And so I looked around at all those numbers and I said, there's my niche. And so I just decided to dive in very deep. And along the way, I've tried everything from a marketing standpoint. Some things work, most things don't. And but I've tried everything, and I have wasted a whole lot of money on marketing, but I have finally found some things that work and work beautifully for me. And so here I am doing 90% VA loans these days. Kind of a long answer, but sorry about that.
No. Take as much time as you need. The audience wants to hear from you, not me.
Yeah.
You so it seems obvious in hindsight to niche when you look at the facts.
Yeah.
But a lot of even agents in the area that have sold homes told you were going to go broke niching yourself out like that.
Oh, they did. And you know what? Back then, I didn't know if they were right or not, but I decided to stay the course and learn as quickly as I could. And, you know, it's funny, when you pick a niche that others don't do, it's amazing how the word of mouth travels. And the word of mouth, I still to this day get a lot of calls from realtors that say, this is a VA deal, Pat, I need you to handle this for me. And I don't have the rest of their business. And it's kind of funny, but that's okay. A deal's a deal to me. And so I get a lot of those calls. And something else that I did about 8 years ago that has made a huge difference, and that is I became an instructor for the Texas Real Estate Commission. And so I am licensed to teach a CE or continuing ed class to realtors in the state of Texas. I wrote a 3-hour course all about VA loans through the perspective of the realtor rather than through the eyes of the veteran. In other words, to the realtor, what happens when an appraisal comes in short? What kind of properties can we use a VA loan on? And those kinds of things. So I got the course approved, and I teach that class probably, excuse me, twice a month. Well, every time I teach that class, that's another 15 or 20 realtors that go out on the street knowing they just got taught by a loan officer that knows a lot about VA. And so guess what happens after that? Referrals, referrals, referrals. So that particular thing works like a charm.
If there's a loan officer watching this and they're in a different market, obviously San Antonio is very military heavy. Mm-hmm. Have you seen throughout your course in mortgages other loan officers, mortgage professionals niching themselves and having the same success in other niches?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What are some of those niches you've seen?
I've seen people niche in reverse mortgages. I've seen them specialize in the FHA loans, the tough ones, the tough FHA ones that others can't get done. You know, that doesn't work with every mortgage company. But there's several loan officers here in town that specialize in jumbo loans in the more affluent sections of town. One thing that I want to bring out on this VA niche, A lot of guys that are watching this are going to think, well, Pat, you've got it made. You've got military bases in your town. Well, I've analyzed my numbers, and all the VA loans that I do, 80% of these are for veterans, not active military people. Veterans live everywhere. They get out of the military, maybe they only serve 2, 3, 4 years, and they move all over the place. So veterans literally are living everywhere. So I could be successful anywhere I decided to hang out my shingle because I know how to speak to them and I know how to find them.
Don't relatives of military get VA loans too?
Say that again.
Do relatives of active military get access to VA financing too?
No.
You don't? Okay.
Nope.
This is why we have experts like you.
Yeah, only the veteran. Now, there is one little instance where the wife of a veteran would have benefits, and that is if the husband died in combat or from a service-related cause, then the VA will recognize her and give her what's called a surviving spouse status. That's the only time that somebody other than a veteran can use a VA loan.
Got it. So, any advice? I wanted to ask one more question on this niche because this is important when you start building and working a database, because if you're trying to appeal to everybody, you generally appeal to nobody. Yeah. So any advice you can give to a mortgage professional that's just like, you want me to niche? Or what would you tell them?
Well, you got to make your plans and you got to stick to it. And I think the main thing is I went out and got a brochure made. And honestly, I wasn't that pro that knew everything in the very beginning, but like Tony Robbins says, fake it till you make it. And I just called myself the VA expert from the very beginning. And I had a wonderful underwriter back then. Those were back in the days where the underwriter would actually talk to you and you could sit down and ask questions. But a lot of people helped me along the way with my knowledge. But there were so many things that happened early on. I was calling the VA in Houston, which is our regional office, so much that I got on a first name basis with the guys in loan production, and they took a liking to me because they knew that I was truly out there helping veterans. And so as a result of that, I became friends with all the guys that make decisions that on VA issues. And so as a result of that, all the way to today, I can get things done at the VA regional office so much quicker than most people can. And so there's just been a tremendous outpouring of people helping once they knew that I was really committed to helping veterans. It's an amazing thing to see that happen. But anyway, back to your question of picking the niche and all that, and you got to stick with it. And in my case, I developed a website, and that website is what's the beginning of them learning a little bit about me, realizing I know what I'm talking about. And is it all right if I say what the name of that website?
100%.
It's www.texas-vet-loans. texas-vet-loans.com. So as a result of that, so many people were Googling those Texas veteran loans that I immediately got on page 1, which is where I am to this day. And so as a result of that, my website today, I would say, brings me about 70% of my business.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And here's what's powerful about that, Frank. About half of those people roughly that come to me, they come to me first and they don't have a realtor. Well, guess what? Now I've got something to give to my realtor partners. And that's a powerful thing.
It's a very powerful thing.
And so anyway, the website has been huge. I went out and had a beautiful brochure made. And so I'm, handing brochures to anybody that'll take them. And whenever anybody calls in with a question, I always ask them, hey, let me mail you my brochure. Well, they say, okay, great. It's funny. If you just said to them, what's your address? They don't want to give it to you. But if you say, I'd like to mail you my brochure. Oh, yeah, okay, great. So I mail that to them along with a card. And so that's another way of getting them out. I go to every trade show that's available locally, any kind of a show. If I can get a table, I'm in there. And, you don't always pick up a loan while you're there, but every time I go to one of those, I get one or more loans after the fact. So
and I find this interesting. when it comes to selling real estate,
Mhm.
most people need financing. And I would probably think the biggest objection when someone wants to buy a home, or it's like, can I get financed?
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me why real estate agents are the ones generating the so-called buyer leads when it's the mortgage people that should be really on the front end, making sure people can even get financing in the first place, which is the main objection.
Well, there's a great answer for that, and this is purely my opinion. But if you Google loan officer, you're going to see some pretty boring websites, most of which don't have anything on there other than it's just a brochure that's on the web. They don't have a video to warm you to the client. They don't have some information. They don't. I mean, you only have a few seconds to get somebody's attention with your website, and if you don't have something there that's meaningful for them, they're going to click on to another one. So it's not enough to have a website. You got to have some valuable information there, which leads me to why I got hooked up with you guys. I'm delivering valuable information in the form of those videos and getting some positive comments back and loans. So, but you only have a few seconds to get their attention, and that's why you have to have a meaningful website. So I've got the website, the brochures. I teach. The teaching is a very powerful thing, and that's pretty much it. That's what I do.
I think one of the objections that will come up to the audience is, oh, all your business comes from you getting in early on Google with some keyword terms. Pat, I don't think the mortgage industry is really, in my opinion, that savvy when it comes to like internet marketing for themselves.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah,
I mean,
I would agree with you.
how long, so what I'm trying to say is like, there's probably some keyword terms or some niche in anyone's market that website phrase is available.
Sure.
And those keywords aren't probably very competitive on Google to be able to rank.
Yeah.
So before you write off like, oh, that's not going to work for me, I would do a little bit of research on it may not be too late in the game to still get in on some niche keyword traffic for niche mortgages in your own market.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And here's the other thing too. Here I am in San Antonio, and I operate in the shadow of the mighty USAA, and they're in the top 3 VA loan providers in the nation. They're right here in my town, so I'm still getting plenty of my share. And I think my secret weapon is when the client calls me, I've got answers for them. You call a USAA, you're going to get a
account rep.
Well, you're going to get a $10 or $12 an hour person that's going to answer some questions for them, and they have no ability to go very deep. Like they have none, and they're not going to get the same person every time. And try to call USAA on Saturday or Sunday. See, I publish my cell phone. I'm available to these people 7 days a week, and I truly answer the cell phone 7 days a week. I get a lot of deals on the weekend because I answered my phone. It's the only number that's on my website. I don't want anybody else answering my questions. I want them to come to me. So if I'm willing to, if I'm willing to take 20 minutes or 15 minutes with somebody on a weekend and get a $200,000-$300,000 loan, am I that important that I don't want to answer my phone on the weekend? I don't think so. That's how I look at it.
In real estate, and I know in the circles I run in real estate, I'm not as in depth into the deep circles of mortgage like I'm sure you are, but there's all this talk of Zillow selling all the houses, and everyone's going to go to Zillow, and everyone's going to go to probably Rocket Mortgage or Guaranteed Rate or whatever I hear probably on the TV with mortgages.
Yeah.
And I buy investment property, and I'm like, never in a million years would I have them ever handle a transaction ever.
Right.
Ever, because it's going to be some $10, $12 an hour account rep that's thinking about how to get out of there at 5 o'clock on a Friday. And they're not going to have the very key answers I need where all the risk is on my shoulders in the transaction. And this deal has to close or I lose that one house that I need. And I think you answered a key important differentiation point of a professional service of how you compete. Like,
right.
I'm
going to answer that in a couple of different ways. The age of the client has everything to do with how comfortable they are with the way they want to get their mortgage. Here's what I mean by that. A lot of my clients are over 50. They're not social media people. Believe it or not, some of my clients don't even have an email address. They don't know what Google is. They sure don't know what Facebook and Twitter are. So I can tell when I get somebody on the phone and I've set the hook, then I say to them, I need about 10 minutes to get some information from you. Do you want to do it online? Do you want to do it on the phone, or do you want to come in here? The older they are, the more it sways toward, I want to come in there. I want to look at you before I give you all my information. I want to size you up. Now I know that's old school, but you know what? We gotta be flexible for what our client wants. And so, but still, most of them are willing to do it online. So I send them a link immediately, and they do it. And then I call them and let them know that I got it. And an hour and a half later, I'm on the phone telling them how it looks. So they're not going to get that service with Rocket or USAA, you know. And gone are those days where every loan is just a slam dunk 750 credit score that'll sail through. It isn't that way. I mean, we encounter divorce and child support and bankruptcies and liens, and when did the lien happen? All these tricks of the trade that these $12 an hour people, they have no idea how to deal with that. They don't.
You said you had some other points in that comment.
I
was just talking about how I just want to drive this home.
Yeah.
That you have expertise to offer, which is going to get me into viral marketing.
Yeah, answers.
Yep. And that's ultimately your competitive advantage at the end of the day.
I developed a tagline, and you'll laugh at this, but people actually read it back to me when they call me. On all my ads, I say, it doesn't cost a penny to talk. So call me right now and I'll answer all your questions. And that's a powerful sentence, because people actually call me and they say, you know, I read on your site, it doesn't cost a penny to talk. So here I am, you know. And I say, that's true. And how can I help you? And so I know they're reading that stuff because it's true. And that's one of the things I pride myself on, is when they call me, I do have answers for them.
Oh, Pat, I love that. I'm going to actually change that on our website. I love that for our free consultation headline.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's really true. It's really true.
No,
and now great. Let's go way back to the beginning about picking a niche. You know, you've got to have the answers when these people call, because if you don't, and VA loans are different, they're unique. They have a lot of them different, a lot of rules that are different and unique to VA. If you don't have those answers, they'll see through you in a minute. So you got to know what you're talking about.
How did you learn?
You know, and a lot of people listening to this, there's no deal that's the same. It's just like if you're a realtor, there's no two transactions that are exactly the same. And so you learn from mistakes, you learn from hard knocks, you learn from how did I dodge that bullet, all kinds of different ways you learn. And if you have a good memory for remembering, pardon me, the rules, then each time you learn something, you put that in your database in your head.
So you decided that you heard about viral marketing, and you checked this out.
Yeah, it's funny.
You're like, what is all this about? So tell me about this transition to, you know, getting your expertise online with us.
Here's the funny part that you may not even know, but I discovered you viral marketing back in, I want to say, November of last year. My wife is a realtor with Keller Williams, and so I got her a website with a company called Real Geeks.
Yeah.
And so I started watching the videos from Real Geeks because I want to help my wife with her marketing. Well, one of the videos was you and the gentleman that owns Real Geeks,
Jeff.
You know, and Jeff was talking about give viral marketing, and I'm always making notes on this. What's this? You know, I'm Googling, and that's how I discovered you. So I Googled, you know, viral marketing and started watching those videos, and I said, that is exactly what I need, is a format, a vehicle, if you will, to send out videos going deeper with my knowledge out to my database. And that's when I sent you, Frank, an email and said, you know, do you ever mess with mortgage people? And you fired right back at me and said, yeah, we'd like to talk to you. And that's how it all started. So
that's great.
Yeah.
It's great. It shows you how, you know, you put good content, people will find you, they Google you.
Yeah.
You know, I like to say on that show, for anyone who's interested in that show, I partnered up with the CEO of Internet Lead Generation software program, CRM suite for real estate professionals called Real Geeks. and we started a show called Keeping It Real. So if you go to keepingitreal.com, you can see the show that Jeff and I do every so often, a little bit less now, but where we interview agents, what they're doing to be successful. But it's much more wider scope than what usually I try to keep it at Vyral to like database.
Right.
And that's how I heard about it. That's cool, man. So you land on this website and you're like, okay, you get it. You know, did you have like fears or concerns? Like, why did it click so easy for you? But for the rest of the mortgage industry, you only have maybe a handful of clients in mortgage because they just don't see themselves as marketers. They just, you know, they will, you know, I'll say this facetiously, but there's a large element to truth. I mean, the majority of mortgage professionals just bring like some snacks and donuts to a real estate meeting, and that's about the extent of the marketing.
I'm going to give it to you straight in terms of my opinion. Most mortgage people are too cheap. They don't get it. They don't invest in their they don't fertilize and seed their field. They're not willing to invest any money in their marketing. Well, show me a realtor that's successful that doesn't invest in themselves. It's impossible. You have to spend money to get the word out by you, about you. If you could be the greatest in the world, but if you're not spending any money to get the word out on yourself, how are people going to find out?
So how did you get over that hump when so many mortgage people have such a challenge spending money? How did you get over all the emotional fear and failure and losing the money, like all that stuff you deal with when you start running money as a business, you know?
I looked at everything that I could spend money on and said, you know, if they can just get me one more deal a month. I remember saying, you know, if I could just get to a deal a week, oh man, I'd be happy. You know, then I got there. Then I said, you know, if I could just get 2 deals a week, I know I'd be happy. Well, you know, I'm still not happy. But you know, I've tried a lot of things that didn't work, like internet leads. I've not had any success with that. I tried that HUD website thing. That didn't work. I've tried a lot of different things. Those things don't work for me. So along the way, when you're willing to try different things over and over and over, you're going to find something that works. And when I find it, I stay with it.
So why did you know viral marketing would work?
I didn't, but I liked it. I liked the way it looked. And I said to myself, as I watched the realtors that you have in your system, I looked at their videos, and I wasn't just looking at the content that they had, but I looked at what was wrapped around that video, how beautiful the site looked, the page, and just how professional it was, and how I know enough about video that, you know, you've got to edit it and, you know, put your stuff in the middle, and you guys really dress them up and make them look pretty. You could make my message look better. And I just said, you know, this is what I need as a done for you situation where somebody else is doing that for me. Okay. And I didn't know that it would work, but I sure as hell hoped that it would.
So what happened? Tell me the story. So you get started.
Yeah, nothing happened for a while, which I fully expected. You can't go out and spending advertising money and expect it to work from the first day. It doesn't happen that way. I wanted a steady presence, and I started doing the videos, and I started getting positive feedback back. Things as little as I get an email back, hey, Pat, nice video. Then I had people start calling me saying, that was a good video that you did. I even started getting some texts. And so then I started thinking, you know, I really need to be mindful of the content that I'm putting out here, because that's going to have everything to do with what. Yeah, that's going to have everything to do with how many people are going to click it and open it. For example, this next video that I've got coming out this week will be about flood insurance. And in the wake of what's happened to our friends 200 miles from us in Houston, I think my click rate, open rate on that flood insurance video is going to be pretty high. You know, because people think, you know, 80% of the people in Houston had no flood insurance. People think that if you have homeowners insurance that your house is covered for a flood. It is not. You are not covered if it's rising water. You have to have flood insurance. So 80% of those people in Houston, they have no insurance on their houses. That's a sad situation. So that's what I'm going to talk about in that video, is to clarify what everybody needs to know about flood insurance. So anyway, I think the content that you put out, it can't be just mortgage. That's boring. You know, So I'm mixing it up now with things other than that. And that's something that I picked up from Brian Stevens, who he and Frank and Brian, you know, those guys, National Real Estate Post. Uh, I went to a seminar a couple of weeks ago in Las Vegas, and he said, don't just talk about mortgage, guys. That's boring. Talk about other things that are relevant to your listeners. And then maybe talk about things that you like or things that you're into or things that are going on in your community or something like that. So just kind of mix it up a little bit. And that's what I intend to do.
What are some examples of some topics that we're mixing it up beyond just like updates on what's going on with mortgage qualification to get qualified, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to talk about flood insurance, what you need to know. I'm going to talk about our local electric company, San Antonio CPS, it's called City Public Service. They do a free energy audit. You call them up and say, I need you to come and do a free energy audit. They'll come to your house. They'll look around your house. They'll look at everything. They'll make suggestions. And then while they're there, they will replace every single light bulb that you have with an LED light bulb. My gosh. You realize how much that would cost somebody to put all new LED.
Those bulbs are what, $10 a piece?
Well, they can be. I mean, they've come down in price, but still and all, that's a pretty cool thing. So that's something else that I'll do. Just cool. of interest, yeah. What's
the address of your blog?
TheVALoanGuy.com.
Nice.
TheVALoanGuy.com, yeah. Yeah, I bought that, and I had just been tearing up the internet on GoDaddy trying to find a good web name for that, and so I found that TheVALoanGuy.com, and somebody else had taken it, but then I went to try to find it. It wasn't even being used, so I contacted the owner and said, "Would you be willing to sell it?" And they did, and so that's how I got that name. But that's what people call me, the VA Loan Guy. Pat's the VA Loan Guy, so it's just perfect for that.
So you picked yourself a niche.
Yeah.
You obviously have a bright marketing mind that it's easy for you to understand that you want to be in control of getting your business, and there's other ways of doing it than just, hoping to get a referral from an agent, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And especially when you generate the leads to actually bring the buyers, even the sellers in that case, to the agent partners that you have. What a great value proposition, the knowledge you have in your niche. It's fantastic. And then obviously you showed us the website where people can go to see your videos and see your topics, and you shoot your footage with a simple camera. Are you doing the webcam, your phone? How do you shoot it?
Well, I just have as the very same one that I shoot on my videos that are on my blog as the very same one we're using right now. That's just a little Logitech cam that you sent me when I signed up with you, and it's sitting on the top of my monitor. Nothing fancy.
Yep, that's the for those of you watching, if you're interested, go Google the Logitech C920. That's the camera that we recommend that will ship you when you become a client. It's like $60-$70.
Yeah, online. It works perfect.
Yep, looks great. Yeah. So what I want to ask you now is, we understand the philosophy, we understand your publishing content, people can go look at that, but we need to have an audience. So what I don't want to talk about is search engine optimization. That's where you're getting some of your business, where you put the keywords, the title of the videos should roughly match what the keywords, what people are searching for. And that's something we do for you if you become a client when you sign up, is we'll figure out, okay, what are people searching for online? Let's try to keep our topics around that so it shows up. I want to talk about what you're doing to build your database. I want to talk about what you're doing to bring people into your database that can refer you or do business with you. And how do you do it proactively? So tell the audience, how do you build your database?
Every single person I pull credit on, and that's a lot, I put on my list, my weekly additional, my add-on list. Every realtor that comes with a deal, there's 2 more realtors, so I add them onto the list. And frankly, anybody that I talk to that I can get a business card from, I put them on the list. Yeah, I realize some people, unsubscribe, and that's fine. That's the way it is. But I mean, that's how I do it. It's just a slow, steady build.
What do you tell them? Hey, what's your email? I mean,
well, if it's a contract that they get in for a purchase, all their information is right in the contract. So I'm going to put that on right off the bat, and they're going to communicate. They're going to open my emails because in the very beginning, it's all about the transaction I'm helping them with. and so I'm kind of already in their inbox. That's one thing, and then the other thing is anybody that I pull credit on, they were interested enough to call me and give me their information. So I kind of feel like they're going to be opening and looking at my emails too.
I think what's important there is that you have a pre-existing relationship with all those people.
Yeah.
Like they'll know you when you send them your stuff. So how many people a month would you say go on your email list that we promote the content to you publish?
Oh gosh, I probably add, well, maybe 4 or 5 people a day. Four people a day, maybe. Yeah.
That's good.
I always have it open on the side of I have a big 32-inch screen, so I keep 2 spreadsheets open, what my deal count is for the month and who the contact people are. And then the other spreadsheet that's open is my weekly add-on list. So those are always open.
I don't want to gloss over the importance of what we just talked about. You have your database open all day?
Oh yeah, it's all about the list. That's what Carl White taught me with Mortgage Marketing Animals. He said, Pat, it's all about the list. It's all about the list.
Now, when did you learn the importance of keeping that database open all day to add to it?
Oh, years ago. Years ago.
Yeah.
There's gold in that database.
There is.
Yeah, there's repeat business. There's
yeah, but you're literally going through your entire day when you talk to someone. It's like, put them in the database. I mean, you have trained your nervous system to do that.
That's why I have it open. It's always sitting there looking at me.
That is such a success principle, guys. If you're listening to this, success is simple, not easy.
Well, if you don't do it now when you're thinking about it, when are you going to think about it? It'll be gone.
So, because one of the biggest challenges people have is like, how am I going to grow your database? And you're just going through your normal course of the day, and you just remember, you just literally have it open on your screen all day long, putting people in.
Well, the first thing I would do if they don't have a database going is I would, to every loan officer and every realtor for that matter, I would go back to every single person you ever did a transaction with and capture that email address and create your database.
Now, do we do that with you? Because when you sign up for Vyral and in the marketing plan on the homepage that I spoke about in the beginning of this, that you download is the first step is reconnecting with your existing list before you start building it.
Yeah.
So we recommend our clients to keep it simple is just export their Gmail, export literally everyone they have, and they just send this reconnect message out, plain text email. It says, hey, I'm in the mortgage business. I can help you. I plan on educating you. You can opt out if you don't want. Let me know if I can help.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Did we do something like that for you?
Yes, you did.
How did that work? I mean,
there were several that unsubscribed,
which is fine.
And I hate to look at the ones that did, but I forced myself to do it, and some of the people that unsubscribed were kind of surprising, but you gotta look at it this way. Not everybody cares. People don't think about you as much as you think they do. And so maybe people don't always want to hear what I've got to say, but you can't take it personally. It's all about the numbers. It's how much you're throwing against the wall, how much it's going to stick. It's all a numbers game. So this is sales. This is pure sales. This isn't. I'm not a loan officer. This is selling money. That's what I do. I'm in sales. So
you reconnect with your list. Mm-hmm. You obviously have a great system that is not rocket science to build it.
Very simple.
So simple, right? Your system to record your 2 videos. What's your modus operandi to make sure your 2 videos get done a month? Because by the way, that's what we recommend on the Vyral plan is publish 2 educational videos of some educational significance, not promotional, educational, helping solve problems a month.
One of your employees is a young man named Matt Beller. And Matt is a real taskmaster. When he calls me, we have an standing appointment that we put in my calendar, and he holds me to it. And so he gets on the phone with me and he asks me, all right, what are we going to talk about? And I always have this decision made a day or 2 in advance. I've already written my bullet points. There's 8 or 10 of them. I got it squeezed down small in the left corner of my monitor, so I know what I'm going to talk about. And so we go through it a couple of times. It's hard to get it right the first time. It feels really weird making a video looking at a little tiny black thing and trying to look and sound interesting. I'll be honest with you. It's not easy. But you get used to it like anything. But you've got to make it interesting, and but not to the point of perfection either. You want to come off like an average Joe that people want to listen to, that you're knowledgeable and perhaps have something that they can learn from. And so that's what I keep in mind. But each time that we do it, it gets a little bit easier for me. But without your guy, Matt Beller, helping me with that, Frank, I'm not sure. I know that I wouldn't be as successful with this, because he's just keeps it on task for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fabulous. You got a great employee there.
Thank you.
You really do.
Staff. I'm glad to hear that. One of the things I say at Vyral is, success is something you attract by the person you become. That's a Jim Rohn quote that I think is very applicable to what you're doing here. I mean, we could sit here and talk about databases and make money. It logically sounds good until you want me to get on camera and start making videos?
Yeah.
And now emotionally hits.
Yeah.
And you realize that you have to grow as a communicator, essentially, to use video as a way to communicate. Any tips you can share with the audience when they are scared to death? They know they logically need to do this, but the fact of getting them in front of a camera is just scares them. But they want to do it.
Do it over and over again. Practice without anybody watching. And, I did a radio show about 10 years ago, and it was a total flop. But I did it for a year and a half because I didn't have the sense to get out of it when it wasn't working. I listened to my tape from my very first radio show. It was a 1-hour show on a Saturday morning. All the things pointed to the fact that I should have been successful. What I didn't understand was I was on the wrong station. I was on a Christian AM radio station that nobody was listening to on a Saturday morning. But what I learned from that, after I listened to my first tape, I was horrified when I listened to the first tape of my show, because everything I said was yeah, and I had all these ahs. And so how does that relate to making a video now? Go put your iPhone on a tripod and have above it your bullet points are taped below your iPhone, and make a tape, and then go shut it off and watch it. And you'll be horrified. Okay, then go over there and do it again, and you won't be quite as horrified. If you do it 10 times, by the time you do it 10, you'll be knowing what you're doing. Because it doesn't take but a minute for you to look at how you looked and go, oh God, I didn't think about that, or oh wow, or where do you stand, and how do you, and where are your eyes going, and are you stumbling? You just look at how good the news people do it at night. They're smooth. And none of us are ever going to be that smooth, but you can certainly improve. Just do it 10 times. That's all you got to do.
Pat, you are a successful person. I'm just going to tell you. I know. Just take the compliment, man, because
thank you.
I envied a lot of speakers, like they could speak on stage, and that was the advice I was given. And I sought out every platform speaking opportunity I could. I actually traveled around the country for free, didn't charge anything, and spoke on stage as a marketing professional. And I would go on Craigslist at the time and find a local video person to record me, just so I can watch myself to get better.
That's great. That's determination.
And I watched myself. And you would be surprised, Pat, how many of our clients don't watch their own videos.
Oh yeah. Well, nobody likes making a video. I don't think. You don't like it, but if you're going to do it, you got to do it good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take very long to get good enough to be able to do this. Remember this: you're the expert. You're the one with the answers. And so when you make that video, or you decide what you're going to talk about, don't overdo it. Don't have too much content. Don't make it too long. Just have bullet points. Get to the point. Talk a little bit about several things, and don't give them all the information. You have your phone number on the screen. Call me for more information. That's what you really want to do. Get them to call you. So doesn't cost a penny to talk,
Doesn't. I love that tagline.
So call me right now, and I'll answer all your questions.
You might get a lot of people thinking about hiring us to talk to you. What you came to a workshop I did. I don't do too many of those. That was actually my first one. I did a workshop for the very first time. I spent a whole day So that viral marketing official video marketing plan is like that 20-page ebook that kind of outlines the philosophy and approach at Vyral. And then I just had to do a workshop where I went super deep on it for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And you
I loved
came.
it. I came. Yeah,
So why don't you tell me what you learned from that?
um, I don't have my notes in front of me, but man, I had a whole page of notes, and it was wonderful. But I'm always hungry to better myself. I want to be better next year. I want to be better next month than I am now. Even though I'm 70 years old, I'm nowhere near ready to quit. So I want to, if I'm still doing this, I want to get better, and better means I should theoretically get more business. And so I'm always hungry to learn more. What are the successful people doing? What can I do better? And that's why I go to a lot of seminars, because my philosophy is, if I go to a seminar, I'm going to come home with nuggets. If I can come home with 1 or 2 nuggets to improve myself, it was well worth the time and money that I spent to go. And that's why I came to yours. And I did come home with nuggets.
And I'll tell you this, I positioned as a real estate event for real estate people, and you still came.
I did, yeah. And another thing too is I know that I can learn from real estate experts, because I can pick up a lot of things that can relate over to my side. If I know how those really successful realtors are thinking and what's important to them and all that, that helps me be better for them, and understand what makes them tick, and find out maybe perhaps what some of their challenges are. The thing that's very important for a loan officer to remember is, no matter how good a realtor is, there's that one time that they lose control of that transaction, and that's when it's in my lap. And so this is why most realtors today are very sensitive to who's going to do that loan. Do they know that person? Do they know of them? I mean, because that's their baby, that's their transaction, and now it's in the hands of a stranger. That's why they typically don't like out-of-state lenders and things like that. They don't know who they're dealing with, and that's their paycheck. That's the home of the client's dreams. There's so much responsibility on our shoulders as lenders. We have to be good at what we do and be honest, and not tell people things that we can't deliver. It's a serious thing. So
what results? So you've been doing this for some time now.
15 years.
Well, mortgage, but viral marketing, year and a half.
Oh, not even a year.
What results? I mean, how do you know this is making you money and this is even worth your time to spend making videos and paying us and all that?
About a month and a half ago, I got a call from a gentleman, and he said, "Pat, this is Audie Cavazos. You remember me?" And I said, "Yeah, Audie, I did his loan about 4 years ago." And he said, "I just got your video, and I'm so glad that I got it, because I've lost your business card. I'm buying a house down at the coast that has since got hit by Hurricane Harvey, by the way." And he said, "I need a loan for that. Can you help me?" I said, "Sure, I can." So right there, the minute I heard that, I got your video, and there you were. There was your phone number. That paid for it for the year, Frank. For the year.
What other results can you share?
And this is even more powerful. There's a real estate broker about 20 miles from here. He's a retired Air Force guy. He's got 47 realtors, I believe, that work for him. He's really impossible to get in to see, and even more impossible to get in to talk at any of his sales meetings. He got my email with some talk about VA appraisals, and he sent me an email immediately, and he asked me 2 questions. I answered him immediately, and he fired back, "Thank you so very much for clearing this up for me." He said, "By the way, call my office manager," and he gave me her name and number, "and tell her that I said to put you on the next sales meeting." Bang, I was in the door, just like that. Just with the power of that video. You never know where they go. You never know how they influence or direct people's thoughts. You just don't know.
How do you deal with that tolerance of ambiguity of like not knowing necessarily how this is going to play out for results?
Well, I mean, doing business with you and having these videos is no different than advertising. If after a while it doesn't work, then I got to move on. If I see that it's working, I'm yours for life. That's how I look at it. My website, I'd be foolish to take that down. That's 70% of my income. I know brochures work. Oh, and the other thing, by the way, that I just launched into, I'm now on television here.
That's right. Tell us about that.
And yeah, and that started last September. I went on one of these local daytime, it's the ABC affiliate. And as a matter of fact, I did all three of them. But every local ABC, NBC, CBS affiliate, after Good Morning America ends, then they typically have an hour of, local essay happening, or Good Morning Essay San Antonio, in whatever your city is, they have them. And so I noticed there that they occasionally would bring on people. And so I called up the TV station and I said, hey, I'm a mortgage guy. I specialize in this. How would I get on that show? Well, whammo, all of a sudden, a marketing salesperson was sitting at my desk saying, let me tell you how we do this. So anyway, they charged me $2,000 to go on there, which I thought, good God, is that expensive? But it got me a 3-minute interview, and it literally blew up my phone. I could feel my phone in my pocket. I had it on vibrate. I could feel it the minute they started showing my telephone number on the screen, because I could see it. I was watching the monitor. My phone started ringing, and it rang like that for 3 days.
How nice is that?
Yeah, and every time I go on TV, my phone just blows up. So I know what everybody's thinking. Yeah, but did you get any deals out of it? I got a lot of deals out of it. But only one deal paid for the whole deal. I got far more than one deal. But most loan officers, they say, wait a minute, you want me to write a check or put my credit card up for $2,000? Huh? That's what I did. I took a leap. But you know what? I would know immediately if it didn't work, so I spent $2,000. Okay, but what if it does work? I'm going to do it more. So I just signed up now. After doing it about once every 90 days and watching what happened to my phone blow up, I just said, you know what, I want to get on a steady diet of this. So then my rep came and talked to me, and she said, now you've done this, you know it works. I want to talk to you about signing up for this package. So now my new package is one of these every 90 days, one of the 3-minute segments. But now they came last Friday and recorded a 7, a 15, and a 30-second commercial. And now they're running my commercials on the news or throughout the day. Every 24 hours a day, they're running my little quick commercials. And also they do the news on the net. And this 30-second commercial is running 50,000 times a month on their site where people are watching internet news. Now that sounds like a lot more than, but if there's 10 people that are tuning in to watch the news on their browser, that would be considered, however many people are watching. So the bottom line is that started last week and it's already starting to happen. So, but you got to be willing to spend the money up front. And so that package is considerably more than what I did before, but I know that it'll work because it does work. So I'm investing in myself big time.
Pat, this has been a wonderful interview.
It's my pleasure. It's what I do, It's just what I do.
Cool. Well, I definitely think we delivered on our promise on some loan officer marketing tips without question. If you'd like more information on Vyral, go to getvyral.com. You can download a copy of the marketing plan that Pat follows right on the homepage, and you can also request a strategy session to talk to us about how this would look for you and the costs and the results you can probably expect with your database and your niche, and help with some topics. It's on our website. It doesn't cost a penny to talk to us.
That's right.
All right.
So call me right now and I'll answer all your questions.
So I want to thank you guys for watching. Up on our website, on our YouTube channel, you'll see all of our interviews. You can go watch more of these to learn how people are implementing the concepts and philosophies that we approach and we're all about here at Vyral Marketing into their business to get results. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next interview.